It's Thursday, September 2025. I'm going to bring my Austin 7 out and we're going to change the oil. Can't find my tripod, can't find nothing. Just come back from vacation, well, a trip to Scotland. So I'll bring this out, you'll hear it start up, and then we're going to work outside because it's a beautiful fall day. It's a cold start. It never likes ticking over until it's warmed up a bit. That was full choke, but it started pretty easy. So the procedure for this is we're gonna take out the drain plug, drain the oil, put in some flushing oil. I need to also think about cleaning the oil galleries. I'll show you what I mean by that. But certainly some flushing oil, and you just turn it over the starting handle, that's all, with the flushing oil in it. Then we drain the flushing oil, so drain. Once we've drained the flushing oil, I'm going to take the sump off of it because there's no oil filter in these, that's a gauze, and you have to clean the gauze every now and again with the debris. That means a new oil pan gasket, and what I've read is don't use the paper gasket, but I bought a sheet of silicone, 6mm silicone, and make the gasket out of that. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the drain pan, you know, the drain plug out of there, put the pan underneath there, drain all the oil out of it before we do anything else. I was going to put it up jack stands, it just makes it more difficult. So I'll see if I can just squeeze under here. I'll bring you back when I've done that. So I've got my toolbox out of the Austin 7. Now we get to the perennial problem of what wrenches actually fit this. I have a mixture here. Not all Whitworth. Bolt on the bottom here. So, a few different things. And I've got my handy dandy adjustable wrench here if I need it. None of those little wrenches are going to be big enough. That's too big. That is a 7/16 Whitworth. This is nothing going on with this oil. Smells a wee bit petrol-y, but nice and thick and viscous. I'll show you. I have a lot of additive in there. I put SDP quite regularly, so you know, I put my gloves on so I don't get covered in it, and then I purposely dip my fingers in it, of course. Let's have a look at the sump plug. I'm sure you'll be interested in seeing what the sump plug looks like. There's not much oil in these. I might see the carbon. I had a little plug in the bottom of the basin that was. So, oh look, a wee globule of gunge. Anyway, not bad. So note to self, when using a drain pan, make sure you take the actual plug out of the drain pan so it will drain into the pan and not all over your driveway. I think I caught it before it overflowed. I think I did. Here's the sump plug. Quite interesting, got a wee kind of hexagonal pattern on it, a star-shaped pattern. I never noticed that before. It's brass. In this wee concavity inside, there's a bloop of blub. Looks as if water was getting into the oil. That's what it looked like to me. Maybe it didn't to you, but that's what it looked like to me. But why just not one wee bit? You know what I mean? It's interesting. This is the fibre washer that's on here. But I guess I had put a double indemnity and put some cardboard or something under it. There's some kind of other washer on there, which is leaving a bit of residue. I think I like that. Not my oil. Thank you very much. I'm taking this off. The fibre washer, I mean. Or I'm just dropping it on the ground. It's another alternative, I suppose. It's tight. It's kind of threaded on there. I guess it wasn't the right size. The fibre washer I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a compressible copper washer, by the way. So again, don't do what I do. Do it the right way. There's some kind of... See, there was something nasty in below that was disintegrating. Didn't like the look of that. So let's just clean all this up. There's some kind of residue on it. See this? I mean, I can't blame anyone for that except me. Because I was the last one to change the oil. I wonder what I put on this. It almost looks like the residue of PTFE tape. Yeah, it is, see. But I guess that doesn't stand up to oil. I think Derek Biore said that it doesn't stand up to oil. He is correct. Does not stand up to oil. So I guess just to get an extra bit of seal on it. First of all, I should get the compressible washer. I might, you know, I got a complete gasket kit. And amongst that gasket kit is another sump gasket, the card paper one that I was just telling you about. You're not supposed to use. Well, the common wisdom is replace it with silicone, right? A silicone gasket cut out of a silicone sheet, thick silicone. But I'm thinking I could use a wee bit RTV on these threads here and get a better job than using that PTFE tape anyway. I've got that all over my hands. I've got a video call meeting in half an hour. Thought I could do this in half an hour. Well, I can do some of it in half an hour and come back and get you guys later. Right? You don't mind. As long as you don't have to watch anything any more boring than what the usual stuff is that I show you. So we'll come back around. First of all, put this back in again, right? Now I've drained the oil all over the driveway. Put this back in again, and we'll put the flushing oil in. You have to remember the flushing oil is only for flushing. I seem to remember an old Pontiac Safari station wagon I had. It told you to put the flushing oil in and actually start the car. Which I did on numerous occasions, the old V8. Great engine. Oh my god, I had two Pontiacs back then. A Le Mans, which I wish I had. And the Safari station wagon was a great old car, but past its sell-by date. You know, both I bought really cheap, one for $500 and one for $1,200, and I sold them both at a profit, so couldn't really complain about that level of service, could you? Right, let's put this back in again. Oh yes, I made a big mess. Awesome. Just what we want, darlings. here, oilways. Let's bring you over and I'll try and show you what I mean by the oilways. Well, I'll show you if I can find them. On the other side maybe. They're little brass bolts. You take them out and in below is the oil gallery. The oil pump pumps the oil round. I don't know if I'll be able to show you very well. Let's look at it. So let's look at this engine, right? So these are the oil galleries here, right underneath the block. Don't know exactly what that is. It's not where the camshaft is. The camshaft's over here. And these could be oil gallery bolts as well, right? These are definitely oil gallery bolts. I don't know if I'm supposed to take this off and clean it. I know mine's is getting oil because it pisses out when I don't tighten up. Is this also an oil gallery? I don't think so. I don't think that is. So maybe just those two. These two. This one's got a screw head on it. This one doesn't. I hate to take them out in case I can't get them back in again. My usual dilemma, right? But I'll try and get a wee spanner on them, wrench, and get them out. And stick a bit of wire through. I think that's all you need to do. So here's my engine. And here's, see it? Oil gallery, bolt, oil gallery, bolt. You can just see my finger. And there's the pipe that comes up for the oil gauge, right? Just to locate you. I'm going to try and get them off. It sucks not having my tripod, I think. What I did with it. Anyway, you won't be able to see this too well, but I'll see if I can get a wrench to slip on these things. This is 7/16 American. Seem to just about fit on. Too small. Old wrench, I don't know what size it is. Too big on one side. It's like the old-fashioned wrenches where you had two sizes on one, you know. Like this is two different sizes. You know. This is quarter US. I could go get a wrench to fit on the other side, right? The other engine. Here it comes. That's the little sucker that we've been fighting with. Little oil way bolt with a little PTFE tape on it again. I guess I worked on this bit as well. Maybe it's old RTV. I mean, you can imagine you don't want oil coming up through these either. There's a little neck to it, see? You see that? Oh, if you can see it. Anyway, I've got that one out. I'll show you the little tiny hole in a minute. First of all, let's see if we get this second one out. Again, it's got some sealant around it. Ooh. That would be the positive on the battery. So let's think about disconnecting that, shall we? Yes, let's do that. This is the... that won't help. It has to be the positive. I was going to take the negative off, but of course, if you ground against it, doesn't matter if it's you don't get that. I need to take the positive off because it's a negative ground. I need to take the negative off because it's a positive ground. Oh my. Fancy terminal. Ain't so goddamn fancy when it doesn't really fit. You can barely get it down there. Come on. Right, now I shouldn't electrocute myself anymore. One would help. The little tiny side of this seemed to fit pretty good. Silver bell triangle. Better. Pretty good. Silver bell triangle. Better. Better grip. Felt as if it loosened or not. It actually loosened. Did you loosen those chaps? No. Okay. Get this set to the right size again. Adjustable wrench. Yeah. They're really just cinch stuff. This one's the same, you can't turn it with your fingers. Be patient. Barely a quarter of a turn each time. Now you see why these aren't cleaned out very often. Not by me anyway. Proper mechanics, I'm sure. wouldn't help if I had a wrench the same size, the right size. I mean, I must, in all the wrenches that I have, goddamn wrench fits that. Surely to goodness. Yes. Of course, I'm trying to do this without a tripod. I did find a wrench. It says 7/16 on it. 7/16 American, maybe. I thought we'd tried that already. Anyway, when I say shoestring budget, the cheapest car I ever bought was £90, and I bought a few round about that price range. I bought a Lada, that was a Mini, and I bought a Lada at £110 one time at auction, you know. Each one of those cars lasted me 6 months. You get 6 months out of a £90 car is pretty good, in my opinion. And the only reason I got rid of them was I get sick of taping them together again. In the case of the Mini, push starting the damn thing because I never got a good ground on it. Never. I was always broke, you know, so it was always piecemeal fixes that I did. I push started that Mini for months. I'm getting it to turn my fingers now, but he really doesn't want to cooperate. It's sore on your fingertips when you're trying to unscrew something that doesn't want to cooperate with you. There it is. Same as the last one, it's got some, it looks like locking compound or something. I know it's not. Again, it's probably old PTFE tape or something that's on it. It just disintegrated. It's gone. Almost rubbery. It's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so now let me just bring you in. You can have a quick look at the holes now, right? Let's see if I can find. There we go. See where my finger is? That's a little hole in one of them. That's a little hole in another one. I'm going to stick a bit of wire down through those. I'll give it a careful clean round about so I don't make it worse, you know. I'm perching my GoPro on top of a wrench to try and get the angle. Yeah, I don't know if I have wire thin enough. I've got a little Allen key here, super thin Allen key. Let's see if I can wiggle it in here. I have a bit of wire as well, but I would need to cut it. Some kind of spoon. I'll try the short leg first. The short leg's not long leg. I don't know what it's supposed to be feeling in there, but it feels perfectly clear to me. What the hell do I know? I'm feeling something down. I don't know. Oh, it's like a. I guess I have to push that through there somehow. Oh. There's no gunk in there. I think that would just make it worse if I tried to put anything else in there. And you know, I'm not putting any sealant on this, I'm just going to put them back in again. And the bottom line is, appears to go right. course after getting it nice and clean I'll drop it. I just have to momentarily pause. I'm going to take this video call real quick. Part of this problem is going to be get this to stand up straight before you start trying to wiggle it in, because it's a tight fit, you know, so you can't actually get a wrench on the damn thing. You know, I often think of these things, you're better off just leaving them alone. You know, the car's working fine, it seems to be getting on okay, there's no oil starvation that I can know of. So why would you disturb something that's working? You know what I mean? Because it tells you in the maintenance book to do it. Seems to just click in there. Get it straight. I'm assuming you don't want to get this in the wrong threads. Yeah, it's going to just fiddle, faddle, wiggle, shuggle it. And then tighten down carefully, one would say. One would say that. That's one word. These don't have screwdriver slots in the head, see? The other one of them did. I kind of think that's a good idea, although how would you get a screwdriver down in there? I don't. Yeah, how do we do that? It's cleaning around it, it's got some gunk flying about that one as well. And I just dropped that. Of course I dropped it. Into the great unknown. I found a wee bit of a spring, which I'm pretty sure is off of the headlight dimmer. Did it fall all the way through? I don't think it did. No, I don't think it's on the ground, so it means it's under the starter. Of course it's under the starter. Where else would it be? A lot of stuff under that starter. Yep. A leaf? Mm-hmm. Come on. Lots of horrible yucky stuff. Right, it fell down there. Where did the elevator? I think. No. Another leaf. Or some such. Wow. I didn't realise how filthy my car is. It's right there. I can get my finger on it. The cowl was actually. Now it's on the ground. Well, now it's on the ground because I pushed it down till it clicked. There it is. Hell's teeth. Don't drop these things, huh? I'm glad I started wearing gloves at the outset of this, with the inane hope that I wouldn't get oil all over myself. Stupid. forlorn hope. Anyway, let's put this rag down in there. So if I drop it again, it's not the same gold darn fiasco, if you know what I mean, darling. And let's try and get this in. Straight. Let's will it to go in straight. That is not straight. Is this straight? Get started on a couple of nice little threads. Going straight. There we go. Rock on. We got it. Started. In the right threads. And get started with a little wrench. Super. Now, no sealant on these this time, so if they copiously leak oil, then we'll rethink that, which means we'll need to take them back out again. But let's think good thoughts. If I cinch these up, that's right. Now maybe there's supposed to be a little fibre washer on these as well. That would make sense, wouldn't it? They are brass though. I don't know how that should make a difference. I just feel as if it might. Let's go further down with my fingertips. This car is filthy. I need to spend some time cleaning up the engine compartment, I think. You know, I've been focusing on driving the darn thing. It'd be nice to clean up a wee bit as well. Poor little thing. This is not printing. You get it down so far, it's quite easy to tighten up when the head's above the level of the block. But once you get down into the last few turns, it's actually quite awkward. You're back to not being able to get a wrench on the whole thing. What an awkward little job. Just a little small job, but awkward nonetheless. And it's easy to think you've tightened that up, and you haven't, because you're jamming the wrench up against the side of the block, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you, having little brass in the head makes you worried that you're just going to put too much force on the damn thing and rip it off. You know, round the corners, I mean. Anyway. I think that's as tight as I'm getting. I still rounded the corner. Of course I did. Let's see this one. Come on now. How much better fit now because the starter's in the way. Okay. So, they're both back in again. Bit of a challenge. Everything's a challenge with me, isn't it? Anyway, I need to go and take this video call, so I'll come back to you later. Okay, we're back. Now we're going to fill it up with flushing oil and turn it over a few times, right? Okay. Yeah, so here's all the products that I bought. Valvoline VR1. I got it just because it's for racing and classic cars, and Derek recommends it because it has some zinc in it. The Gemini artificial intelligence, the Albot as my sister called it, it recommends not getting a multigrade. This is 20W50, which is what I use in the old cars over in the UK, 20W50. But they said use a single weight oil. I know what that is. I'm going to put this motor flush in it right now. helps remove accumulated engine sludge. I'm just going to turn that over with the starting handle. Sorry, did you see that? Motor flush, right? I just got the cheapest one, $5.99. The Valvoline's $9.99 a quart. STP oil treatment. I've been using this for 100 years, feels like, on the Austin 7 and various other vehicles that I own. I love STP. Now, Marvel Mystery Oil, don't know what's in it, it's a mystery, as Derek always says. Kind of surpassed the STP, especially in my Range Rover. I love it in the Range Rover, it's very light. And it certainly is marvellous, as the name suggests. But still, for this old engine, I'm going to use STP. Berryman's, I never buy this. Normally I buy Seafoam fuel injector cleaner, but it cleans carbs as well, right? So I'll put that in the gasoline later, and just some coolant. Right, this is ready mix 50-50, good enough. But as if it fell into the pot. Anyway, here we go. It's just a clear liquid. The problem with just putting a quart in there is it's not going to do the job, is it? Not even going to get picked up by the... It's not going to get picked up by the oil pump, I don't think. So I'm going to put some cheap oil in there as well. I'll put a wee drop of this in, just so I can get it passed through. High mileage, full synthetic, it's not cheap oil, but it's almost full now. So let's get the starting handle, turn it round, a few jiggies, let's see if you can see the front of the car here okay. I think you can see it. The ignition's not on. This has got sharp. This starting handle's got some sharp bits on it. So. For a wee engine, there's plenty of compression there. I'll tell you that for nothing. See what I mean about it catching on me? That rips a hole in your hand if you're not careful with that starting handle. Let's have a look. Rips this in. I'll pop on that wee sucker. It's not really building any oil pressure when I do that, is it? Let's use the starter. Here we go. This is not starting it. It will build up some oil pressure doing that. That's what I'm looking at on the dipstick, it's completely clean. Let's see, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't know. Should have run it until the battery's completely dead. Hard to know on it. Good battery. Good battery. Okay, let's pretend that that's done what it's supposed to do. I tell you, I'm very impressed with the compression in that engine. That's tough to turn. Whew. So, let's do what we're supposed to do now. That was roughly 2 quarts that took, wasn't it? Roughly. Let's say roughly 8 quarts. Okay, second part of the oil change. I don't think this will be filled to capacity, so I think it's fine. Just try and plug it again. We know already this jack is not high enough. So, okay. Just put the handbrake on, shall we? Oh! So it doesn't go on a little journey without me. You know, it is. Sometimes something will just decide to go on a little journey off the jack. Oh. We do have the jack straps here, so I'll put one of them in. Keep it up a little bit. Up. It's travelling off the jack already. I didn't know that was going to happen. Up. It's travelling off the jack already. I didn't know that was going to happen. is losing fluid, you know. But still, it's going up. That's good. Good enough for me. And max me. Right. What we go here? We need a light. And what socket is going to fit in there? Tiny one. That'll fit on any of those nuts and bolts, I think so. If we can get one out just now, we do need light in here. Realistically, it isn't right. I can't really see. But it feels as if that fits. Oh. Very unlikely to find one right the way that fits, huh? What the Whittle? The problem with this is I think it's 3/8, and most of my outlets are 1/2 inch. Half of my socket, most of my sockets are 1/2 inch. Let's have a look. This is 1/4 Whitworth. Tightening, loosening. It's this one. close enough to ease out the rest of the way. Actually pretty good. But there's the culprit there. The other extension button. Extension button. I can do with one because this will fit perfectly, right? So there's what we've been working to take off. It's really not too bad. Oh, well. What do you think? Kind of sludginess, sludgy washiousness. Let's put it over here for now. Now we've got another 6 or 7 nuts and bolts to take out to take the oil screen off. So I'll bring it under here. You can have a quick look. It really looks in pretty good shape, the oil screen, which is great news. I don't see any kind of gasket on this. RTV maybe. But let's get you under here and you can have a look. These gloves are toast. Oh. But they did the job. They did their job. So let's get you here underneath the car. Oh! Alright, so just orient yourself there for a minute. That's looking up into the crankcase, right? So that's the screen we got to take off now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts maybe that need to take off to take that screen off and give it a good clean. You can see bits of gasket material there, but looks like a hokey kind of gasket to me. That's okay. I'm getting this off and give it a good clean. Nothing like the one I took off that old engine, remember? And remember, I need to cut a gasket. Look at that. Sump has been multi-blade drilled, right? Ouch. Poor old crankcase has been beat to death. See all those bolt holes where there's 2 bolt holes? I guess it's been bored out and re-drilled again several times. All the more reason never to touch these stuff things, I guess. Who the hell is doing a proper oil change? I was thinking of winding up for the night, but then I thought, let's get the screen off at least. Right, I don't think it looks that bad. You know, definitely needs a clean, but not as grungy as I thought it might be. Don't actually remember which way up that was before. Don't know if it matters. But I did find something very concerning. Let's go underneath here. You know, I thought there was a low end rumble from this. Not a big end clumpity, but a low end rumble. It's like the whole thing. If you don't know, then you don't worry about it, but now I know, I'm going to worry about it. So look under here. Alright, of course you can't resist having a wee look and a prod and a pry. So, see if I can get my fingers on this. So, look how loose that is. Can you see? I'll try and hold the camera still. That should not be moving like that. The one next to it's got a little bit of play, right? The one next to it, a little bit of play. The one at the end, a little bit of play. That should not be the case. That's what's making that noise that I hear all the time. Up and down and side to side. And side to side, there's maybe nothing I can do about side to side. Up and down as much as that, right? I don't think that should be as loose as that. There's a little bit in the other ones. The only thing I can try and do is move that round and cinch up the bolts, but I've got a feeling that big end's gone. Don't you think? If that's moving like that. And up and down movement's not terrible, but side to side, that's huge, isn't it? I don't know what that means. That kind of movement, I don't even know if it should have that kind of movement, to be truthful. But that's a lot. And that one at the end has got quite a bit as well. Maybe the end to end doesn't matter as much as up and down. Anyway, I'll try and get a couple of turns on that conrod bolt. Of course, if I strip it, don't know actually what to do there. But it's nice and clean in there, so that's a good thing. Right? Maybe I just put it all back together again and forget about the looseness. I don't know. I'll phone and ask my dad. The best thing to do. Okay, I'm just going to push it back in the garage now, take it off the jack stands and all, and then I'll put it all back together again tomorrow. Getting a bit tired now. See ya. Before we sign off, finally, I thought I heard something clunk down into the oil catcher container thing. That fell out the sump. What the hell? It's the remains of a nut and bolt and a washer. Where the hell did that come from? That is not good. Okay, gasoline in a little container here, and the gauze. The gauze is a bit beat up looking, but we're gonna ignore the nut and bolt that I found in the sump. Me and my dad had a good conversation about it, and we were worried about it being a gudgeon pin bolt, you know, a small end bolt, but it's not. I checked. Here's the gauze. It's got some debris on it, but it's not terrible. So I'm just bathing it in the gasoline, right? And I'll give it a rub. The gauze is not in great condition, but you can see already, you know, the gasoline's getting dirty. It's washing it. So that's basically what I'm doing. Sorry for the poor video quality, but I don't know how else to actually show that. Probably better with a little wire brush, but I'm a little, looks a bit delicate, that gauze, you know. I don't know. Can you just order new gauze from the Cherry suppliers? Maybe. I don't know how that was actually fixed on there. A hope and a prayer, maybe. Maybe this is an original. I think you can buy replacement screens, you know, the entire screen, instead of just replacing the gauze. I'll probably have to do that with the engine that I'm rebuilding. Well, there's actually wee bits of glue or solder on the frame here that's holding the gauze. Yeah, someone just cut that. It's a copper gauze of some sort. What I'm trying to wipe off is actually what's gluing it on there. So I think I'll give that a wee spray with my pressure washer. There's a few holes in the gauze as well. See, there's a hole there. You see that? There's a hole there. It's not huge. And I'm sure all the acknowledged wisdom is, oh, lint-free cloth. I don't actually know what a lint-free cloth is. Never come across a lint-free cloth. Maybe just rinse it under a tap and get the rest of it out. I don't want to pour that on it. So let's just say that's done. Done. So here's an interesting state of affairs. Here's the sump pan off of the engine that's in my Austin 7. This is definitely a different engine from any old engine I used to work on here. You can see the sump's been repaired here with a new sump plug, I think. But also you'll see multiple holes in the sump. There's another multiple, see here, two here, 2 here. I'm pretty sure it's the big holes that I'm looking for. So it means I'm going to make a gasket anyway, so there's going to be a unique gasket to this sump. And there's going to be some holes. There's a little tiny, this tiny pinhole here. What the hell that is. Some of these holes will be covered by the gasket, I guess. I just want to try this on again and make sure it fits. I've got the gauze on. Still haven't solved the mystery of the little nut and bolt that fell out of there, but you know, when I look at the size of the bolt, it's not a gudgeon pin bolt, not a small end bolt, but it could be a bolt from that gauze. That's what it looks like, one of those little bolts. From my rebuild gasket set, this is the gasket that came with it. So it would be ideal if I could use this as a pattern for that silicone that I was telling you about. Scrape this off and clean it a wee bit. However, the holes are not going to be right. The shape is correct. The holes are just about correct, actually. That's weird, isn't it? I do not say that that is correct then. Is it correct? No. Big, 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 big. I'm looking at the big holes, not small holes. Yeah. Actually, that's spot on. So I'm going to use this as a pattern to cut out the silicone. Okay. Gloves off for this, I think. Here's the sump, here's the gasket. Sump over there just now. This is the gasket material. This is, I think it said it was 6mm silicone. So let's just cut that roughly out just now. Just dropped a bit in the scissors, I'll get them later. Use these little scissors, I hope. So let's just cut this out. And that's the best way of doing it. I'm not even trying to get this accurate right now. Let's get the big bit of silicone out of the way. I've already used this as a little gasket, I think, to do with the carburetors when I was playing with that engine trying to get it started, you know. So let's get a marker of some sort. Can we mark this with the yellow crayon maybe? Not great light, huh? Can you guys even see what's going on? I can barely see what's going on. Could do with a better light. Anyway, let's, can we put that right on the edge? Maybe not. Let's just mark it that we don't have a square edge. Well, we do have a square edge, don't we? We have this edge here, which was machine cut, I would imagine. So let's say that's right. There. Give ourselves a little bit of room. Doesn't really matter if it's a little bit oversized, does it? This mark. No. What will mark? Permanent marker of some sort? Permanent marker. I did have one of those in here at one time. Still good. Great pre-planning as usual, Christopher. Okay, let's come back when I get a permanent marker. But there's a little yellow crayon that seems to be able to mark this, so let's use it. Use whatever's to hand, right? Is my motto. So let's cut that shape out. Both sides while we're at it. And I think I'll do the holes as a separate exercise.
get too aggressive with that. Okay, so you see the outline basically. So let's get busy. I'll cut to the outside of each line, thinking a wee bit bigger is better than a wee bit smaller. Don't take my word for that, because I don't really know. As usual, I'm making this up as I go along. Oh, that's my line there. Let's just cut all the way to the end. Cut to the outside of this line. And take that all the way to the end. Not very engineering like, I do apologise. We'll cut the ends and round the corners and things later. And get this little kink here. Which I did manage to get an outline on. This. There we go. So not bad, right? Not bad. Now let's just move those bits out of the way. Better to cut the holes first, I think, and then cut the inside bit out. You know what I mean? So I've got these holes cut, right? So should I cut all the holes first? And what do we need to do to cut the holes? Just put a wee X and then just shove the bolt through, or do we punch? I think we have to punch to make the holes, don't we? What do you guys think? Punch to make the holes? I need something that diameter then. If we're going to, we better do it on the anvil, wouldn't we? So let's use a little yellow crayon. I think it would be better to punch the holes out first before I make it super flimsy by cutting out the inside bit. You know what I'm getting at? I'm just putting a liberal dose of this yellow oily crayon in each of the holes. You know, I checked already and it looked as if the holes in that sump pan were just a bit right. So here we have the holes, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 holes. 14 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 big holes, right? Let's just check that again, just for shits and giggles. Pretty much dead on. So it is the big holes that we're looking for. And then I'll get my anvil and something that diameter to cut that hole. What the hang is that going to be? I'll get back to you once I find something. It's a little bit bigger than the diameter of the holes, but not far away. So I'm going to, without sharpening it or anything, I'm just going to put it on the anvil and give it a sharp tap with a hammer.
I'll show you. Let's bring this anvil around so you can see it. Oh, heavy, heavy, heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. So can you see that anvil? You can see the anvil. I don't know if you're able to make this out or not, guys. Okay, so we're gonna put that on here. We're gonna bash that. We're gonna see what happens. Perfect. Rinse, repeat. Keep it away from the edges. Okie-dokie. Again. Good one. You'll be quite deliberate with it, I think. Oh, dearie me. It's the end of that brass fitting. Hope I don't need that for nothing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Keep on bashing lumps out of this. Get more tentative because it's disintegrating on me. These faulty bits, I guess. Yeah, that's literally faulty bits. Wow. Who'd I think it? Huh? There you go. It is what it is. Come on. Come out of there. Don't want it to come out anymore. Well, I've got some of them done before it disintegrated. Wow. I don't think I can continue to use this. Got that one. Okay. It's so short it's hit my fingers. That's not great, is it? We're getting there, we're getting there. Okay. This does not want to cooperate no more. And then the last one, man. Come on. Emma? Two. Two to go. Wow. It's poops right off. Come on. Cut it, baby. After fashion. So I guess the lesson learned here is don't do it the way I did it. Didn't quite do them all as clean as I had hoped. I didn't think that wee brass fitting would disintegrate as quickly as that, but there you go, it did. Anyway, there's what's left of that brass fitting. Not much. Is it really brass? I guess it's brass. Anyway, it's full of the wee silicone punch outs, interestingly. But so we got our right, can you see the holes? We've got all the holes punched, right?
let's just have a look at that real quick. Now I'm going to have bits of brass everywhere. So, just have a wee look at what we've done here. So we've cut all the holes, right? And I haven't tried that back on the sump yet, but they should be fine, right? Let's do that real quick and just confirm it's all okay. It's got gunk on it, I'm going to give it a good clean. Right, how are we doing for hole matching? Hole matching, tick. Pretty good. Okay, so now comes the tricky bit about cutting around the inside perimeter, right? Without messing it up. I'm making a wee incision there. Again, I'm going to keep to the inside of the line, give it a little bit extra width. So I'm not cutting it along the line, I'm cutting to the inside of the line to give it an extra little bit of width. And I'm going to be careful at each one of those bolt holes and make sure I'm not getting close to that bolt hole. I don't want to cause a problem. Okay, I might need to do the corners kind of separately. I cut around that there very conservatively. I didn't want to get near that bolt hole. I'm going to do the same here, and you'll see that that is not right. That's okay, I'll come back and do those corners in a minute. I don't want to make a slip at this point and create a problem for myself. I've invested what, 5 minutes of my time on this already. It's not a lot of time, but I don't want to waste it, you know. Not, my time's that precious, but you know, you don't get it. Okay. To the inside of the line in this particular case, right? So I'm maximising the width of the gasket. And at the corner again, I'm very conservative and leave way too much material at the corner, and I'll come back to it. I don't rehearse these things, I just do them as I come to them, so you see all of my pathetic mistakes. So I'm saying I'm being conservative around it. I don't know if you need to do that, but I'm doing it, right? So now, so that gives me a big bit of material left, which I'm sure I'll be able to use for something. I mean, it's going a long way, that silicone stuff. Right, so there's my gasket, right? And let's just try it on there again. And then we can have a look at those corners and see if we need to redo the corners. You know, I don't think we need to redo the corners. I think we'll just leave them the way they are. And I've got a hole there, I don't know where that goes. That hole's in the wrong position. Let's just use that up. Am I gonna glue this on with RTV? I think I probably should, because that's a bit wonky. And that hole is definitely in the wrong place. This hole in the corner here is in the wrong place. Let's just position it as we can, as good as we can. And I'll bring you in closer here so you can have a look. Some of the holes are definitely not right. So, here we go. So you can see some of the holes line up pretty good. Some of the holes not so much. This one down at the corner here is way off, see. So I think I'll glue that on in the best possible kind of compromise position. See these corners that I didn't cut out properly? I think I'll just leave them. Is there a downside to that? And the metal is right there, so I don't think it makes that much difference. So I think I'm going to glue that in position. You know, with RTV, if I have some. Blue RTV. Let's just really clean this before I do my business. What happened to that? There is some old material on this. I thought I got it all off, just peeling it off, but obviously not. Just cleaning off any kind of major lumps here. I thought I had done it all before. Obviously not. Right, now I'm going to just put a thin smear of RTV all around this and then put that gasket on as close as I can get. Maybe not. RTV is good stuff and it seals itself. Right. There we go. I smooth it out with my fingers, I don't bother trying to do a continuous bead anymore. It seems all a bit pointless. When you're going to smear it anyway. It's just a light coating. It's not really meant to be a gasket, right? It's just meant to hold the gasket in place, right? It's a form of silicone, which is, I believe it's a form of silicone, which is what the gasket's made out of. So, you know, belts and braces, I guess, kind of, sort of, if you know what I mean. Right, so let's see that's smeared on there, and quickly. It's got some depressions on it. That. Okay, and now let's put our little doodly bits that way. We should be able to kind of line up the holes, and it should just stay where it's supposed to stay. I hope. Maybe even that hole that's not in the right place. You know what I mean? So, there you go. Kinda lined up. Okay. Now we're gonna go and offer that up and see if we can get Maybe I'll put a wee smear on the other side as well. Good thinking, bit, man. I'll get back to you when I'm hopefully done. Let me get that all over my camera. Okay, it's about an hour later. I managed to get the sump on. I'm just going to cinch up this sump bolt, the drain bolt here. For that I need my adjustable wrench, which I left the tool back last night. That's too small. Oh, what did I do with the large adjustable wrench? Yes. I do love this little tool that I picked up at Collingswood Flea Market. Doesn't work perfectly all the time, but it works pretty good. Gives you a good bit of fiddling around. Right now, I don't put any PFE on any of this. So, here's hoping it doesn't leak in there. Those nuts and bolts on the sump are a complete pain in my Batinsky. But let's just put this under there. Let's put some oil in it, baby. So we're going to put the VR1 in it that we talked about before, and then we'll turn it over a few times, try and build up some oil pressure, you know. And then we need to remember to tighten up all the nuts and bolts again. Right? Remember that. Don't forget. And I'll be brutally honest with you, I really don't know the capacity of this engine. For some reason I have it in my mind at 6 pints, but then we put that quart of flushing oil in there and then just a smidgen of oil, and it brought the dipstick right up, right? So let's put a quart in, you know, for sure. And take a quart of oil, right? And I'll check for drips and things once I put this quart in. It says Valvoline VR1. Supposed to have zinc in it. It's not a single weight. I don't know what a single weight is. Gemini told me use a single weight oil. Even the classic car oil that I got over in the UK from Halfords was still a multi-grade. It was 20W50, same as this. All recommended for classic cars. So I don't really know. I mean, single weight means it's just like SEA50 or something, right? 20 I guess it would be. Let's see for drips. I'm peering, I don't see any drips. Got my good thing, right? One would help. Check the dipstick. Dipstick. What happened to my dipstick? I pushed it out of there so I didn't. What did I do with it? I did it out completely. What did I do with my dipstick? There it is. I'm honest to God losing it. This is taking, it's the longest oil change in the history of oil changes. I'm just saying. Yes, a quart brought it a quarter of an inch up on the dipstick. For some reason I'm thinking it's 3 quarters. We'll put the second quart in. I'm using my filter funnel because this is right over the starter, right, and that positive connection there. You don't want to short that out, man. I've done it. I mean, 6 volts. It's heavy amps, man. It'll melt solid metal in a second. That's 6 volt heavy amperage batteries. Those guys are lethal. I'm not saying 12 volts aren't just as lethal. That 6 volt battery, my god. I have shorted out that switch before. It is terrifying. Terrifying. I can tell you that from nothing. I'll do what I'm going to. Okay, how we do looking now? It's almost full. So let's just check that again. Maybe put a pint in it. Not the full quart, I don't think. So let's put half of this in and check it again. Maybe not even half, some of it in. Just up to the fill mark. I have blown a cylinder head gasket, I think, because I had too much, I overfilled. And I read about it after I blew the cylinder head gasket. It said, don't ever overfill with oil. I have run engines before overfill, but it just shows you run a risk, right? This little engine blew a gasket when I did that. Literally blew a gasket. Still not quite on the full mark. You drop more? That wasn't a pint I put in there. Scoosh. Now that might be a pint that I put in there now, so that's 5 pints. That sound right? For some reason I thought it was 6 pints. You know, from my copious reading on the subject. I will put some STP in this though. Right, that's it full. So some STP. Sure you've all seen STP before, or you know, engine honey as Derek calls it. I used STP all over the place. Here it is, right, it's super. See how thick it is? It fills up that funnel in no time. So lots of zinc in it. And boy does that protect your engine. It's awesome from that point of view, my humble opinion, right? We put some in a rear end and I messed up the Volvo 145 and I messed up and the little plug in the bottom of, in the back, the fill plug for the rear differential in the Volvo 145, I'm talking about 30 years ago, 40 years ago. The fill plug screws in and just keeps on screwing in. I screwed it right into the body of the back end, not realising that the last few threads, it fell into the rear diff, locked up the rear diff as my dad was driving along, and you know, we thought ruined the rear differential. Took it out, it was full of STP. I had STP in it. Put the plug back in again, took the offending, you know, mangled nut out, filled it with oil and STP again. That thing ran for another 40 or 50,000 miles without that rear end having any impact. That accident having any real impact on it. Right, so we are going to turn this over with nothing, no ignition. Let's turn it over the handle first. Isn't that a smart idea? I think it is. Turn it over with the handle. Where's the handle? Starting handle. Starting handle. And we should really let it down off the jacks, shouldn't we? Let's let it down off the jacks also. Here we go. Oh, this to be. Put the jacks down. Oh. This thing first. Other side's on the jack stand. I could have done yesterday, it was silly not to do that. I apologise for any of you safety conscious people out there who were looking at me saying, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? I had to take the axle stand off one of the chances. It's a bit of pain, but obviously a lot safer. for the legs again. Whew, man. That's freaking marathon, wasn't it? Where's my snap camera? Let's just turn it over a few times. Grinding noise itself. I think there's some good compression in it. There we are. So let's just use the starter now. Okay, we'll just start it. Keep it below the engine cap. I sincerely hope we don't, but too shabby. Move everything out the way. So we'll up down the drive wheel even.
Underneath it, make sure the
There's a leak. Okay. You need to tighten up a bolt.